Welcome to the Gus Alva Perspective, a videocast that is earmarked to embrace gratitude and abundance over the mindset of fear and scarcity, themes that are obviously opposite of one another, but again, themes that are very important in the overall layout of life. I'm Gus Alva, board certified psychiatrist, and the theme that I'd like to touch on today in this videocast is a very important one. Have you ever pondered on what the difference is between being, say, telekinetic and having part of your brain restored? You're going to say, what the heck is that all about? Because it turns out that we are at a very interesting day and age. I don't know if you're aware of this, but at the end of January of this year, Elon Musk sent out a brief message that said that the first human had received an implant from a Neuralink or a chip that was actually positioned in their brain, and suggested that this individual was doing well. And also said that there was, again, a promising neuron spike detection. So let me give you a little bit of a backdrop with this. First and foremost, Elon Musk is very well known to the majority of individuals nowadays because he's been very effective at carrying out different concepts. And his latest venture is this venture called Neuralink. And Neuralink is a neurotechnology company that is owned and co-founded by Elon Musk. Interestingly enough, in May, the startup announced that it had received the FDA approval to implant brain chips into humans. And as of last year, it had recruited its first in human clinical trial. And so, as a consequence of that, in January of this year, at the end, Neuralink was now implanted directly into someone. Why would you want to have a microchip placed into your brain? Well, first and foremost, this is interesting. This is a brain-computer interface that allows people to control a computer or a mobile device wirelessly simply by thinking about it. Now you understand the concept of telekinesis, right? Now, beyond helping paralyzed patients regain some mobility and communicate without typing, Neuralink's longer term goals include helping restore, say, full mobility or even sight. So these are very important concepts, right? And the Neuralink brain chip is a chip called telepathy, and it's basically a cyberkinetic implant that gives people with paralysis the ability to use a computer or phone with their brain activity alone, right? We're talking about an implant that's around the size of a coin, but has a lot of threads that basically then get connected onto different parts of the brain cortex. And we're talking about, close to 64 wires that then subsequently have to be, uh, placed for the individual. So it's, again, a procedure that's not without risk. And by the way, it's not just Elon Musk that's been doing this, but, we certainly note that Bezos and Gates, a couple of other billionaires, have initiated another system called Synchron that's very similar to Neuralink. And there are other venture capital groups, including BlackRock, Neurotech, and Vanguard, that have their systems of their own to pursue these different things. But the reason I'm advancing all of this information is that a young man by the name of Nolan Arbaugh is a 29-year-old quadriplegic, and he was the first patient to receive Neuralink that was referenced by Elon Musk at the end of January. And after receiving the implant back in January, now this young man, Nolan, has already been able to move a cursor on his computer by simply thinking about it. And this allows Nolan to play music, to play chess, and to link via the computer tether to other things that might be connected to the computer. It's really interesting because, immediately after this was reported, a professor from the University of Sussex said, recordings from neurons in live and behaving animals is a standard procedure in neuroscience, and it's decades old. And the comments were to suggest that Neuralink wasn't doing anything special. In fact, they were decades behind that had already been included doing this type of work. And in classic Elon Musk style, he basically said, hey, that's just, another individual that is in academia and overweighing the value of ideas and underweighing bringing those ideas to fruition. Now, the reason I'm stating this is that it turns out that in the medical field, we're also involved with some very interesting work, and a lot of people don't necessarily know about it. And part of that is associated with stem cells. Stem cells hold significant promise in the field of neurodegenerative conditions because they have a unique ability to differentiate into various cell types, including neurons or nerve cells. And so, if, for example, you thought of cell replacement therapy, stem cells can be directed to differentiate into specific types of neurons that have been lost or damaged in neurodegenerative conditions, including Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's disease. And by replacing damaged neurons with healthy ones, stem cell therapy aims to restore the loss of function and potentially halt or slow down disease progression. That's kind of neat, right? Because, if you also think of neuroprotection, neurotrophic support, stem cells can secrete various neurotrophic factors, cytokines. These things promote survival and growth of existing neurons. And this neuroprotective effect can also prevent further degeneration and improve overall neuronal health in the neurodegenerative conditions that I just described right now. So why is this important? Well, overall, it's key and critical to understand that there is some really neat work that's ongoing right now. And stem cells offer a multifaceted approach to addressing conditions that are neurodegenerative in nature by providing cell replacement, neuroprotection, immunomodulation, regenerative support. And I'm happy to report also that at Hoag Hospital here locally in Newport Beach, as of the past couple of weeks, we were able to successfully implant stem cells directly into the lateral ventricles of a patient through an Ommaya reservoir. And what this goes to show is that we are at the cusp right now of being able to optimize on the possibilities that stem cell therapies have for clinical use. We are obviously doing that under the premises of ongoing research that is FDA approved, but this type of treatment modality holds a lot of promise for developing effective treatments to combat devastating illnesses, which at the present time do not have a cure. So, what's the difference between being telekinetic versus the potential for having the ability to restore viable, normal, healthy tissue? Well, it's an interesting time in which we live in right now, but I thought that we would utilize this video cast on the Gus Alpha Perspective to really rest on the premise of optimism and abundance and gratitude over the fact that through innovation, we have ways of being able to address problems that at the present time have no cure. With that said, I thank you all very much, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thank you.